What's going on, guys? It's Top the Hulk here, and today I'm doing a guide on how to beat 50-20 mode. I just beat it in my last video and thought I'd make a guide on how to do it for others to beat it. Let's get straight into the video. The moment you start the night, you want to open up the camera, turn on the power generator, turn off the fan with spacebar, press F to close the side vent, then you want to go into the duct system, place the lure in that middle left section, as this will stop most of the animatronics. You'll still have to use the heater later on, but we'll get over that. Then you want to head to Toy Freddy, get rid of the side Mr. Hugs is on, and then you want to head to the prize corner. So the first thing you have to do in the night is collect Fazcoins. This is done by clicking on Helpy whenever he spawns and closing that side vent. So you want to lift up the camera, close it, put the mask on, check for Nightmare BB. If he's there, flash him. If he's sitting down, it's alright, you don't need to. And just repeating until you get to 10 Fazcoins. To farm more coins in this beginning bit, you can close the left and right doors if you ever hear Nightmare or Nightmare Fredbear spawn. This only happens every 5-second interval, so if you can pay attention and try and get them to spawn, then that's good, but again, I just sort of got lucky if they did spawn or not. But one thing you want to make sure is you stagger the closing of the doors to block them, as if you block them at the exact same time, you'll only get credit for 1 coin. I don't know quite how long this range is, but it's quite small, but it could still happen. So just make sure you close one, wait a little bit, close the other, and make sure you get credit for both coins so then you don't have to farm as much. Throughout the night, you have to swap between using the power generator and the fan, and using the global music box. This is done roughly every 15 seconds, but the intervals I used were every 14, I'd use the music box, every 31, I'd use the power generator and put the fan on, then 44, music box, 101, power generator, and just continue like that throughout the whole night at those intervals. Shadow DD can spawn whenever it ends in a 1 after the first 10 seconds, so 11, 21, 31, 41, as late as 51, and I believe even 101. But if it's that late, you're already over. I would say the latest possible time to do it is probably 41, otherwise your run's over. Once you've got 10 coins, you want to open up the cameras, close the doors on the left and the top vent, buy the death coin and death coin Funtime Foxy, and leave the camera on him. After about 20 seconds, you want to swap the wet floor sign to the other side, as most likely Rockstar Chica has made it to the door, so you need to make sure she can't come in. This is another luck-based thing, because sometimes she moves slower, but this is a guaranteed safely way to do it, so I'd recommend you do that, because a lot of the time she will kill you if you forget. Another important aspect of this is time intervals. This means that only certain animatronics can kill you at certain times, and you have to avoid these as much as you can. Toy Freddy can only kill you every 0.5 seconds, which is not a lot of time, but if you are good enough, I didn't really pay attention to this, I got somewhat lucky, but it's such a short time. Who knows? But the more important one is in the beginning of the run, you really want to avoid 13-second intervals. So 13, 26, 39. As Rockstar Bonnie and Wither Bunny can spawn, Rockstar Bunny is most likely going to end your run, because his guitar can spawn in a really bad spot, and later on you can't move your camera. If you move your camera, then the plush animatronics will instantly kill you because you're cam stalling them. So you really want to avoid these times, and it's quite easy to do near the beginning, but later on it's very unlikely you're going to do it. But I didn't really worry about it, but if you can, try and avoid it. Every 10 seconds, an ad or the mute call can play, or both. You just want to make sure you get rid of them as quick as possible. The mute call, you just have to press it. It can sometimes be quite hard to find on the screen, so you might have to actually move around the camera for it to be more visible. But try and make sure you get it every time, because if it builds up too much, you're going to get Music Man to kill you. The ad, all you have to do is press enter and it goes away. It's quite simple. You can also click the button on the screen, but I'd recommend pressing enter, as you don't really want to be moving your mouse because Nightmare might just get you. About 20 seconds after DD spawns is when Plush Trap will spawn. After the 20 seconds have passed, you need to go back onto the cameras, again closing the left door, the top vent, and the side vent if anyone has spawned there, and look at Plush Trap for a little bit. While you're doing this, you want to be spamming the reset ventilation because you want it to be full by the time you leave. The moment he disappears, go to cam 2 as that will stall all the Plush animatronics so you don't need to worry about them at all, and then you can close the camera. After this first rush and Plush Trap is gone, you're now at the second phase of the night where you're trying to stay in the office as long as possible. Whenever you enter the cameras for a larger period of time, like for buying the death coin or getting rid of Plush Trap, you want to actually click on the vent or the duct first and then go back to the camera, as this will get rid of the Phantom Balloon Boy or Phantom Mangle, which would pull you off the cams and most likely ruin your flow and end up killing you. So you just want to make sure you do that whenever you're doing it for a larger period of time. Whenever you enter cams for one of these resets, you want to make sure you close the left door and the top vent, as this will stop any of the left animatronics or the top vent animatronics from killing you, because they only kill you when you open the cameras. Then once you've reset, you can close the camera, open those doors, close the side vent if anyone's there, and then get back into the flow of it. Whenever you come out the camera, you want to put the mask on to stop Golden Freddy, and press F in case anyone has spawned at the side vent. If you hear a thud or it's been a little bit of time, then you can open it. You can also just check if you're not sure, and you don't want to waste any power in case they aren't there. The next secret animatronic will be Nightmare Chica, and her jaws will slowly close around you. All you have to do is put the AC on, and the moment they are out of sight, you can put anything else that was meant to be on back on, and then they're gone forever. Once you reach the second phase, it's all just reactionary office based and making sure whenever you flip at the cameras, you go through that ritual of closing the doors and using the heater. Another very important thing is to have Bonnie on the table as much as possible, as if Bonnie's on the table, Foxy can't progress and you're safe from looking at it. The way to change this on the table is you can either open up the cameras normally, but I'd recommend that you learn a thing called a zero frame flip. Otherwise, anyone can enter your office and you have to waste a lot more power. A zero frame flip is where you pull the camera up and back down so quickly that the only thing that changes is that little statue, because it registers when you actually open it rather than when the first thing loads. The way to do this is press S on your keyboard while having your mouse hovered over the little monitor button on the actual screen, and then immediately flick that mouse down and it puts the camera back down. If Foxy's there on the table after you've come out of the camera, you should wait around 5 seconds before you start trying to get rid of him and put Bonnie back on. Otherwise, it can't be updated yet, and you're just going to risk doing a zero frame flip when you don't have to, and most likely you get killed if you mess it up. Lolbit is the next secret character to show up. All you have to do is type LOL on your keyboard, and then she's gone. It's very easy, just like Sister Location. That's the same with Bonnet. She'll run across the screen, and you just have to click her nose. It's got quite a wide hitbox, but just be careful of Nightmare on because you do not want your mouse over them for any period of time as much as possible. They also do a little laugh so you know when they've spawned, so you can tell when they're going to run across the screen. Whenever you need to do a cam flip for your reset ventilation, what you want to do first is make sure that the vent animatronics have been pushed back recently. I usually do this just after I've turned off the fan, as you have a bit of leeway with the degrees and it doesn't get too hot. But you just want to wait till you hear a couple thuds of them moving backwards, and then you can go back to what you were changing before. But you just want to make sure you do this fairly consistently, so then they move back and aren't there when you lift up the cameras. Before you lift up the cameras as well, make sure you've closed the left door and the top vent to stop any of those guys coming in, because they can't kill you unless you're in the cameras. Open up the camera, reset the ventilation, close it, immediately put the mask on, and you can open up those doors, see if anyone's in the side vent, check on Balloon Boy like always, and then continue through the night. The final secret animatronic to spawn will be the mini arenas. All they do will block your screen for a minute, minute and a half. And the two things you got to check out are who's on the table and Nightmare Balloon Boy if he's standing up. Other than that, they're completely harmless. The whole time you're doing this, you want to be swapping between the power generator and the music box at those intervals, 14, 31, and just stay on that for the whole night. It's very easy to forget if you're not paying attention, so you want to always be keeping one eye on the clock and making sure you know what time it is and what you need to do when. In terms of using a flashlight, you want to get rid of Phantom Freddy whenever he spawns by just shining it on him when he starts appearing, and you should be good. The Freddles, you can hear when they start getting quite angry. You actually have quite a lot of time. I think it's 8 seconds you can wait, but just making sure they don't get too angry and kill them with just a flashlight. Quite easy. None of the top vent animatronics can actually kill you unless you're in the cameras. So even if you hear a laugh or the end of noise or see Springtrap, you can just wait, and then once you go into the cams to reset, they'll go away and you can hear a thud and you'll get fast going. Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica are the same as you'd expect in FNAF 2, and you just put the mask on, wait for them to disappear, and then you're good. Once they start moving back, then you can immediately take your mask off, and you've actually got quite a bit of time before they can even kill you while they're moving forwards, as you probably will notice in my run. Scrap Baby is quite easy. If she's there and she looks at you, just press the button on the desk and she's gone. Once you reach the second phase, it's all just reactionary office based and making sure whenever you flip at the cameras you go through that ritual of closing the doors and using the heater. Whenever Rockstar Freddy spawns, if you have the coins, just use them. You can wait a little bit, so it's unlikely that it'll spawn again, but just make sure you get him in before he starts getting angry. You can tell because his voice line changes and he starts speaking a bit quicker and you can tell he's getting angry. If you don't have the coins, you can use the heater for 1 or 2 seconds and it should get rid of him. I found this very finicky, so a lot of the time you will have the coins, so you should be fine, but if it's early on, there's not many doors, you're going to have to use the heater. This will use up a bit of power. If you can time it with pushing the vent animatronics back and doing a cam flip, that is perfect. But again, that's luck based on when he spawns. Afton will come at any point in the night. All you gotta do is close the right vent when you hear it's very loud and the lights flash. It's a very loud noise. Then you hear him thud on the door on the right, you can immediately open it again, and then he won't appear for the rest of the night. Ballora will come on either side. You just have to close the corresponding door. You'll hear a thud. The moment you hear the thud, you can open the door again. It's quite quick. It doesn't take too long. And it happens, I believe, every 14 seconds. If the office ever does go above 80 degrees, you want to make sure that Jacko Chica hasn't spawned. So if you close the left door and the right door at the same time, then she'll either hit it or she won't even be there and you'll be lucky. But that just makes sure she's not there and just safe. I actually missed the mute call in near the end of the run around 4 AM, but luckily I get away with it. I use some silent ventilation, I focus on the music box as I've got the power to spare. If you don't have the power to spare, then it might be over for you, but hopefully you do, and you actually survive, and it eventually goes away, but Music Man does get quite annoyed. He gets quite fast, he gets faster and faster until he gets really fast, and then you're gone. Hopefully this guide gave you more info on 50/20 mode and can help you beat it. If I did leave everything out, please put it in the comments below and I'll happily answer it or edit the video to include it. But please let me know and I'll make sure that you find out the real answer and I'll give you all the information you need. I hope this can help you beat it. It helped me beat it. I use information slowly gained through playing it. I've quite a bit of time in it. But I would definitely recommend you get at least good at 9,000 points. Realistically, you want to be able to beat it without Foxy, Toy Freddy, or Funtime Foxy. Especially Toy Freddy and Foxy, because they're quite luck-based. Funtime Freddy just means you have to farm coins at the beginning, so it's a slow progress. But without those three, that's the whole rest of the night in that second phase. So if you can't beat that, then you're not going to be able to beat the second phase of it, so there's no point doing it. That's the minimum I would recommend. Ideally, I'd say try and beat it without Toy Freddy and beat it with everyone else, because that's as hard as you're going to get without just going straight to 50/20. If you like this video, please leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new. I hope you did enjoy. If you have recommendations for any other FNAF games or games in general, please leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to have a look and possibly play it on my channel in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching. and I'll see you dudes in the next video. Goodbye.